What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We back with another banger. We're going to talk crypto. Basically Bitcoin though. You know, I do not proclaim myself to be a guru of crypto, but I am an advocate for Bitcoin. This is not, so let me give a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is literally my opinion. So if you're looking for financial advice, please seek guidance from a licensed financial advisor. Yep. So what we do here is I kind of talk about, it's my show, so I talk about what I think about crypto and other different investments. You know, actually the show is the Pattern Disruption Podcast, but this segment is something that I'm doing all month. And I am a little under the weather, so if I'm sniffling, you probably can see it in my eyes, but yeah, so I'm a little under the weather, so I'm gonna make this quick as I can, but I do want to talk about why is Bitcoin the alpha asset? Why is Bitcoin the alpha asset? Some people might disagree with me. Some people believe in Ethereum, and it's not so much believing in it, it's more of, so Ethereum has outpaced Bitcoin in the last 30 days. I think Ethereum is up about 54%, and Bitcoin is only up 20%. But again, with Bitcoin being the alpha, everything moves when Bitcoin moves. But like I said, this is a segment that I'm doing that is called, this is a segment that I'm doing where we do a challenge, which is a dollar cost averaging challenge. I do this the entire month of August. I did this in February as well. In February, for the 28 days of February, in honor of Black History Month, I end up doing $100 a day. I did $100 a day. I moved some money from another investment that wasn't performing, and I put that into Bitcoin. So same thing I'm doing this month, and this is really just to kind of not so much persuade people, but to kind of wake people up. I know if I would have been listening to people that were in my circle that were talking about Bitcoin right now, my life would be a little different. So I'm trying to do the same thing for you. You know, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you know, once you get older, you understand time can be an asset or it could be a liability. If you use time to your benefit, and that's just small steps every day, then it can be an asset to you. But if you waste a lot of time, you can't get it back. So, you know, if you don't invest, if you don't take care of your health, it'll work against you. We all got to go anyway, but at the same time, you do want to have the best quality of life while you're here. And money has plays a big part in that. My nose is running. I told you I was a little under the weather, but the show must go on. I had to, I have to, 30 days of showing up. You know, that's what we do, 30 days. Again, some people I'd have gotten people calling me. People don't really engage much online, but they do call, they text. Okay, Dogecoin is 23 cents. But yeah, so people do engage. They, you know, it's not a lot on social media, and that's really not why I'm doing it. I want in real life, I want you activated, not just on social media. So as long as I can help one person here and there, that's what I'm gonna do. But welcome to the show. Again, welcome to the show. Shout out to you for being up and add it with the living on this Tuesday. What is it? It's the 12th. At the end of this show, I will, like I do every day of this month, I will be buying $25 worth of Bitcoin. So, if you haven't started dollar cost averaging, I suggest that you could go on one of the exchanges. If you got Robinhood, you can go on Robinhood and you can set it where you do $10 a week. If you're anything like me, you've been spending money. You've been spending money on coffee. You know, you might stop and do coffee twice a day. So that's $8, $10 right there. And then if you eat lunch and you don't make your lunch, which a lot of people don't, now you got that. So a lot of us spending $25. And then if you play the lottery, you buying bottled waters here and there, the money is there. Now you got to sacrifice something, but $10 a week, that same $10, my uncle used to say, shout out to my uncle, Uncle Bunny, Uncle Andrew Starks. But I think he said, if you save money, money will save you one day. And that's been my experience. That's been my experience. You know, at any given time, there's some type of issue on the horizon for all of us. It may be a flat tire. It may be your daughter, son needs this, need that, and you want to be able to help them when they need it. So that's why when I say you save money, money will save you. It's so many different things that can happen. You just might have credit card debt that you want to just pay down. And because you want to buy a new house or you want to do this or you want to do that. If you save money, money will save you. So what we're going to do, I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin being the alpha asset. Yeah, so it is definitely the alpha asset in my eyes. I think some people disagree. A lot of people, they're not going off of a long-term eye. They look at what it did today. But look at the history of these investments. Look at the history of it. But Bitcoin versus the rest, what do you think? Like, the top 10 cryptos would probably be, what's the top 10 cryptos? You got Binance, you got Solana, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Tonecoin, Avalanche, Polkadot, Tron. You remember Shiba Inu? I'm sure a lot of us invested in that, not knowing absolutely nothing. A lot of us invested in that and didn't know a thing. Everybody was jumping on it, so we jumped. But, you know, Ethereum, I think, would be right up under Bitcoin. They talk about XRP, but Ethereum right now, I think it's like 4,500. You know, it's like that. So Ethereum is kind of like the app store of crypto. You got the smart contracts inside of that. You got the NFTs. So it has some utility, but I don't see the NFTs didn't do real well. Well, they did well during the pandemic, but you don't hear much about NFTs right now. So, but recently Ethereum has been outpacing Bitcoin on a day-to-day, but over the long haul, if you pay attention, most of the time when Bitcoin does well, everything does well. So I think over the past month, Ethereum is up 54% and Bitcoin is only up about 20%. But if you're a Bitcoin maxi like I am and a lot of other people, my camera's shaking. We don't worry about the day-to-day movements of an investment. You're not worried about that. You just you set it and kind of forget it because you already know what it's going to do. When you take scarcity, when you take adoption, so once the government starts adopting it, every time that somebody adopts it, it gets more scarce because it's only 21 million. So we already know where it's going. You just literally you just sit back and just keep dollar cost averaging and just let it run up. And if you get to a point where you got windfall somewhere, you know, you get your taxes or whatever you get, then you dump a little more in it. But, you know, if you look at, let's say, some of the altcoins, the only ones, so I did invest a little bit in Cardano, a little bit in XRP, and it was really off hype. It was really off the hype. And I guess Bitcoin was off the hype too. I saw how much money people were making. It was unbelievable. But then when I went into it and I saw the mechanics of it, and I saw how it's really the base layer of where we're going anyway. So eventually we're going to a point where we're going digital anyway. So what will be the base layer? It's like the OG. So Bitcoin is the OG. It's going to be there and everything else is going to sit on it. Now, one thing that will sort of compete with it, but not really, would be the coin that the government uses. It'll be the official, what do they call it? It's the, anybody know what that is? What is that coin called? It's called it's going to be the one that the government is going to use. Anyway, I can't think of the name right now. But once they start using that one, but it'll be backed by the dollar. So it's really not backed by nothing because the dollar is not even backed by gold anymore. So I just don't see where it can compete with Bitcoin. Even if the government uses it, how can it compete with Bitcoin? I'm not sure. I don't know. But one of the reasons I look at Bitcoin as the OG and the alpha asset is because of its previous performance. So you look at how well it's done over the past 16 years. That's how you judge any asset. You look at how it's done in the past. And if the past is an indication, then bruh, with new adopters, like what I'm trying to get you to do, I'm trying to get you to get involved in it as well, with all these different corporations adopting it. And then with the scarcity, we only got about a million or so left. And it is actually coming to like a zenith. At some point, it's going to meet. Scarcity is going to meet demand. And the supply is not going to be there. So the future for Bitcoin is like really bright. Like you think it did something over the last 16 years. Wait until they come off of the exchanges and you cannot buy them anymore. Wait until these stable coins get activated in the government. Because right now you hear about it, but you don't really understand. You don't really understand what that meant, the Genius Act that they just did. We don't really even understand the impact of that yet. So, but when demand and the scarcity, when they meet, Bitcoin is going to go way up in value. And if you're not a part of this, you're going to be so they got 3 stages, right? So you got the pioneers, which were the ones who did it back 10 years ago. Those are the pioneers. Hold on one second, y'all. I got to wipe my nose. Sorry about that, y'all. I guess I should have changed my screen when I did that. Yeah, so future Rasmus, next time I'm gonna do this when I blow my nose. Just for respect for y'all. Man, I appreciate the support. Everybody that support me and what I'm doing. If you only knew the plans that are in store. Shout out to me for busting the Lions. I got the Lions blue on. I made the screen Lions blue. Shout out to me. Shout out to the D. It's been a lot going on in Detroit. I did see Isaiah Thomas was in the neighborhood with that group. I can't think of their name. See, I'm not good with names, but his name is Zeke. So you got Zeke and then you got Isaiah Thomas. But what's the name of the group that Zeke runs? It is called, I don't know, it's a community organization. Y'all know what it is. Somebody put it in the comments. But yeah, so, but it's 3 different segments in Bitcoin. You got the early adopters, the pioneers. Then you got the early adopters, which I consider myself an early adopter. It's terrible. I consider myself an early adopter. And I'm trying to make you all early adopters as well. And then you have the users. Those will be the ones who come in after all the Bitcoin is spoken for. And then you have to use it. So it's going to come a time where when you sell something, people won't want cash for it. They'll want Bitcoin for it. You see what I'm saying? So there'll come a time where you'll have to work for it. You have to sweat for Bitcoin. I know it seems far off, but trust me. One thing that you want to learn how to do is kind of be able to see around corners, especially if you plan on changing your life and your quality of life in one lifetime. So if you really want to alter and change generations and you want to do it in your lifetime, you're going to have to be able to see around corners. You're going to have to be able to see around corners. So one thing that you have to understand is if you pay attention to the landscape, at some point, this asset won't be available. And you'll have to either work for it, sweat for it, sell something that somebody wants, or you could sell something. Like if you're selling a car and you only take Bitcoin. So now you get Bitcoin because that person wants that car more than they want that Bitcoin. So there's going to be a few ways to get it. But if you look around the corner and think about the atmosphere at that time, cash, the value of the fiat dollar, the regular cash will probably be inflation will be crazy. Everybody will probably be, which I don't hope this happens, but we can't be on a hope standard. We got to have a strategy. And if you're going to have a strategy, one of the strategies should be to pay attention to what's happening. You look at what happened to Blockbuster. You look at what happened to what's happening to the movie theaters right now. They didn't see this coming, or they didn't pay attention, or they were arrogant, and now they kind of stuck with an asset that's, nobody will really go to the movies no more. But now you've invested your life into it, and you can't change with it. Look what happened to Kmart. Look what happened to Sears. You had to get online and really, you had to be able to pivot. So what we're doing right now is we're pivoting. So shout out to all the disruptors, everybody that support this channel. We're gonna pivot. We already coming from a deficit, especially if we grew up in the city and we didn't have rich parents. We already had a deficit. So we got to come up with something quick. Or all these dreams are just wishes. But if you're going to really make these things happen, if you're really going to make these things happen, you're going to have a strategy. And Bitcoin is one of my strategies. It's just one. What's yours? What strategy you have to change your lineage and the generations that's coming? Are we positioning our children and grandchildren? Are we positioning them so they won't start from the starting line like we did? And I'm saying that I started from total starting line. My grandparents had already started the race, and they handed me the baton. And my family, everybody didn't have that situation, but some people had it better than others. Some people had it so good until they really didn't develop a strategy because they were so used to not having to. I remember telling myself, like, you know what? Grandma's not going to be here forever. She was 60 when you was born. So she's not going to be here forever. Although we got longevity in the family, I knew at some point I would have to be able to build on my own. Take what they provided and build on top of that. And I did it. I could have been better. But some of us don't even have that option. You know, you see sometimes people get, like when that COVID happened, and I don't even want to say that word on here. When that C-19 happened, that was the most money, lump sum of money people had ever really had. And it was the only time where they were going to let you sit down and give you money. It was the worst of the time, but it was the greatest of times. And that's no disrespect to people who lost loved ones during that time. I know a few people who took that situation, a bad situation, and made it good. I know people who, when everybody was shutting down, they were just starting their business. And you could have took that as if, look at my luck. I got bad luck. So I just started this business and now they shutting the whole world down. Well, food was still an essential. It was essential. Food. So if you're in the food business, people still needed to eat. And people had extra money and they had extra time. So if you were in that business, if you were willing to take the risk and be open, you could have used that to establish yourself. But I understand people who closed. But I'm getting a little long-winded, y'all. I'm getting a little long-winded, and I don't want to do that. I want to get in here and get out. I just want to talk more about how Bitcoin is the alpha asset. It is. It's the alpha asset. It's the one that everything is gonna move when Bitcoin moves. When you get a good day in Bitcoin, you normally get green across the board when it comes to crypto. So y'all keep doing your research, keep supporting the channel. Go to Pattern Disruption Podcast and like, share, but most importantly, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. I'm doing this. I'm doing this for us. I'm not just doing this for me. This is for us. This is my service to my tribe. And it's just the beginning. When I started, I said I'm doing 100 shows before I even worry about the numbers and the stats. And guess what? I'm only on show 22. I have more shows in the can, but I'm saying as far as shows that I've released. So this is a marathon. It's a marathon. So shout out to y'all for the support. And I'm about to buy some Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is 119,000 right now. And looking at this, you'd be like, it's too much. No, it's not. It's only 10% of what it's going to be right now. This is going to $1 million. You know, Bitcoin is more valuable than silver now. It's more valuable than copper, silver. It's more valuable than, I think we talked about it last week in one of my shows. Bitcoin is actually bigger than Tesla. It is bigger than Facebook, this app that we're on. Bitcoin is bigger than that now. It's bigger than silver. It's going to supplant gold. Everything is going to get devoured by it. And you say, why are you so optimistic about it? I'm telling you, you go down that rabbit hole, you'll see why. It's nothing, never had anything like it. So that's why I spend my time every day coming on here to share with y'all, because I don't want you to miss it. I want you to be one of the people that I see at the airport, and I'm like, where you headed? And you're like, I'm going to Martha's Vineyard or somewhere, taking my whole family. Shout out to you. I remember when you were talking about this and giving your time for free and sharing and motivating people. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the tribe advancing. I don't know what your strategy is, but this, like I say, this is just one of mine. I'm about to buy some Bitcoin. Oh, there we go. We sending the order right now. There we go. Boom. So we just bought another 25 of this this commodity, this alpha asset. We just bought another $25 of it. I try to tell y'all, one day you ain't gonna be able to do this. Pay attention. One day you won't be able to just do this. You're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to sell something that somebody that has it wants. And guess what? Then we're gonna go down to Satoshis. I talked about it's 100 million Satoshis in one Bitcoin. A Satoshi right now by itself is valued at under a penny. It hasn't even made it to a penny yet. But eventually a Satoshi will be the same as $1. So right now, let me see. I just bought 20,713 Satoshis with that $25. So imagine when those Satoshis are $1. So that same 20,000 Satoshis I just bought, I paid $25 for $20,000 in value. If you get what I'm saying? I just paid $25 for 20,713 Satoshis. It's 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. If you want to find out what Satoshis are worth, you just divide. Y'all, if y'all good at math, take that 100 million and the price of Bitcoin today, do your division, and that'll tell you the value of a Satoshi at that any given time. It always gonna fluctuate because the market is always moving. Bitcoin is one of those things that moves on Christmas. It moves on the holiday. It moves at night, 4 a.m, it's moving. And it's only 1 million Bitcoin left. And I want you to be a part of it. So shout out to y'all. You know, I'm gonna take off. I just bought another $25. We're doing this every day of the month. This is the DCA challenge. We turn in August way up. You know, Bitcoin usually does a rally in October. So we at the perfect time. You're at the perfect time. Just buy a fraction. You don't have to spend 120,000 because that's what it is today. You could spend $5 and just get you a piece of it, and that $5 may buy you 10,000 satoshis or something. And eventually, those satoshis will be worth $1, and that's when we're gonna be able to live off of these small investments that we're making right now are going to be worth. You're not even believe it. Again, when Bitcoin was initially introduced, $1 bought you 1,093 Bitcoin. $1. So pay attention, y'all. Go down that rabbit hole, find out for yourself, because once you find out, you're going to be like, bruh, who don't know that? Because for me, I feel like everybody, how are people missing this? How are people missing this? It's right there. And it's in marketing, they tell you to make things scarce so people want to be involved. So you say, I'm only doing another 10 and you got another hour. And it makes people get that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And when they get that FOMO, that's when people buy. Well, I'm trying to tell you, I ain't trying to get you to buy. I don't make no money when you buy Bitcoin. But what I'm saying is, this should really be giving people FOMO, knowing that it's only 1 million left out of 21 million that's already been put in the market. So I'm getting out of here. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Go out, have a great Tuesday. I appreciate the support. Make sure you go and like and subscribe to the Pattern Disruption Podcast. Make sure you keep supporting, keep grinding, keep being disciplined. Don't look at what's in front of you, because sometimes if you look at that, you can get discouraged. Make your plans with the future in mind. What's the future on the horizon that you're looking to see? Look at that, because if you look up close, you see the murder rate is up in Detroit. We got my man in office. They got people freaked out. You can't look at that. I mean, you have to exist in it, but you can't let that be your barometer on what you're going to do. If you really believe in what you're doing as far as your long-term strategy, it will tell you what to do every day, and you don't even have to be moved by the news or moved by anything on social media. I just said I'm doing 100 shows, so I don't care about, damn. Okay, I had to do that, y'all, because your boy a little under the weather. But guess what? That's my point, though. That is my point. My point is, regardless, I'm doing 100 shows, regardless to who likes, who shares, who subscribe. And I'm only on show 22. So when I get up every day, I'm not getting up looking at how much engagement did I get yesterday. Is it down? Is it up? Hey, I don't care. I'm doing 100 shows. And along that line, I'm going to get better and better and better until when I'm done, now it can't be denied. Now I look like a genius. Now I look like I got a communications degree or something. But it's not that. It's just that I kept doing it, and I was looking further than just what my day-to-day reactions and energy that I get. I'm not looking at that. So some people, I understand that people want to know that you invested in what you're doing, because a lot of times people start stuff and then you get invested in it and then they disappear. And we only got so much time and so much energy to be giving stuff. So what we give our energy to has to have value, and it's got to be sustainable. And we ain't playing with that. So I understand, and I respect that. I respect your time. So that's why I get here, and I try to get straight to business. I ain't trying to be famous, but what I am trying to do is make an impact. So, and one of my impacts is this, helping people disrupt patterns. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate y'all showing up. Make sure that you are building a better tomorrow. Forget what today looked like. Make tomorrow better. And that's it for today. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're going to buy some more Bitcoin tomorrow. Get on the exchanges. If you haven't, go to Robinhood, go to KuCoin, go to, what's another one? Crypto.com. Set you up an account, Ameritrade, whichever one that you want to use. Go on there and set you up an account and start investing in this rare commodity. You know, the clock is ticking. Yep. So happy Tuesday. We going out. We're gonna be great. If ain't nobody never told you, once you take action and you're not worried about the feedback and the instant gratification, and you get into your groove, you keep getting better. I remember I used to get on here, and I'm an introvert. So I used to get on here, and you talking about the butterflies, but I still get them, which is healthy to get it. But as you can see, it's not even about that now, especially when what you're doing means more than what you look like. What I'm trying to help people do is more important to me than what I look like. And y'all have to bear with me. I'm a little under the weather. But guess what? I still showed up. And I'll be back tomorrow. Lord willing, I'll be right back here tomorrow. So I appreciate y'all's support. We getting out of here. Thank you for being a part of the DCA Challenge. You be blessed. Go out, be great, and keep disrupting. Peace.